I would like to share a Wasan poem written by Shinran Shonin at first, so please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. The fundamental intent for which the Buddha appeared in the world was to reveal the truth and reality of the primal vow. He taught that to encounter or behold a Buddha is as rare as the blossoming of the Udumbara. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Nammanda Butsu, Nammanda. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to today's Eitaikyo service. Eitaikyo is a perpetual memorial service, or as Amy introduced, perpetual chanting memorial, or perpetual chanting service. And I want to share with you a recent phone call I received. Probably it was a business call, but I answered the phone, and he said, "Can I talk to the owner?" And I replied, "Do you want to talk to the owner?" And then he hung up. I thought, how rude, but I never thought about who the owner of the Oregon Buddhist temple is. Then I started to think about it. The man must have been from Zen temple or something, asking me difficult questions to answer. But later, I thought I should have said to him, "Owner, you mean you want to talk to the Buddha?" Well, actually, this temple run by Sangha, right? This temple is run by Sangha. But we cannot forget that temple can exist here as Buddhist temple because of Buddha and Dharma. So Sangha, temple is run by Sangha, but Sangha is run by Dharma and Buddha. So the owner of the temple still remains questionable, but probably I could say the owner of the temple is Buddha or the Dharma. Anyway, it was nice to chant Hanju-san with you today. Hanju-san is written by Shantao, the one of the seven masters from China. He's from 7th century. 7th century. Don't you think it is wonderful to chant something which has been chanted over 1400 years? The pronunciation of the kanji characters are different from China, but the contents have not changed since 7th century. We chanted something which has transmitted to us from 7th century. So it is really amazing thing. And Hanju is one of the Buddhist practice, meaning visualization of Buddha in front. And Gatha is song. So this Hanju-san's actual title is much longer. I shared with Japanese people last Sunday. Actual title is Eikangyo to Myo Hanju Gyodo Ojo-san. This is the actual title. No, Eikangyo to Hanju Zanmai Gyodo Ojo-san. This is the actual title. But try to translate actual title. It's gonna be like the song revealing the practice to be born into the Pure Land by samadhi of visualization of Buddha in front, in accordance with the contemplation sutra and the other sutras. Since the title is too long, we abbreviate it to Hanju-san. And we are not chanting whole writing of Hanju-san, but we chant the part where Shantao specifically described about the teaching of the Pure Land and Amida Buddha. He is recommending us, or recommending practitioners to aspire to be born into the Pure Land. And this chanting is often chanted around Ohigan time. The service, Ohigan is a service on the other shore. But according to the guidelines for the service orders, I didn't bring it today. We have guidelines for the special service orders, and we can conduct one of the ceremony called the Ceremony on Contemplation Sutra at this Eitaikyo service. And we chant preface of Hanjusan in that ceremony. So I thought it is okay to chant Hanjusan today for Eitaikyo service. And I love this chanting of Hanjusan. You know, it is said that this style of chanting Gatha part and Nembutsu, Gatha Nembutsu, came from Ku Amidabutsu, a disciple of Honen Shonin. And this melody of Hanjusan became the basis of the melody of Wasan we chant after Shoshinge. So, today is Eitaikyo service, as I mentioned. And some of you know that where I'm from. I'm from Japan, but I'm from Shimane Prefecture. And Shimane is second least populated prefecture in Japan. We have only about 684,000 people in the prefecture. So I rarely meet people from Shimane, even in Japan. And I said Shimane is second least populated prefecture in Japan, but it is third most prefectures in number of the temples we have. So we have so many temples in Shimane. The younger people are moving out of Shimane Prefecture to look for the job. So many temples have to close down because of the depopulation. And my home temple is in the mountain, and we have about 200 houses around. In that small area, we have 3 Jodo Shinshu temple and 1 Zen temple. So we have 4 temples taking care of 200 houses. And our members are probably less than 20 families, and average age is over 70 years old. So we, mean the Sugahara family, cannot live only by doing temple work in Shimane. My grandpa worked for Betsu-ins in many areas, like Kyushu area, Kobe, Shiga, many areas. And my father worked for Tsukiji Hongwanji in Tokyo, nearby Tsukiji Fish Market, and Nishi Hongwanji and Kanazawa Betsu-in, and worked for the schools associated with Nishi Hongwanji in Osaka and Tokyo. So I say I'm from Shimane Prefecture, but I never lived in Shimane. My life started living in Tsukiji Hongwanji, so I spent almost 7 years in Tsukiji Hongwanji. Then we moved to Kyoto, stayed there for 1 year, moved to Kanazawa, spent 10 years. Then I went to a university in Kyoto, so I spent about 4 years in Kyoto, 5 years in Osaka, went back to Tokyo and spent 6 years. Now I'm here in the United States. 7th year, this is my 7th year. So if you remembered all the numbers I said, you can calculate my age. I'm 37 this year, so I'm living almost 1/3 of my life in Tokyo, 1/3 of my life in Kanazawa, 1/3 of my life in Kyoto or Kansai area. Right? Yeah. But anyway, right? And I have talked about this before, or shared with you before, but my temple has over 370 years of history. And I'm the 15th generation of my home temple. And I said 15th generation, but it means there were 32,768 direct ancestors, or something like that, who transmitted this life to me. But the temple couldn't survive just by the efforts of minister's family. It could survive mainly the efforts of temple's members, ancestors, who supported the temple. You know, if 20 members of my home temple is also the 15th generation, then there were about 655,360 people who supported my home temple. which is almost same size as the population of Shimane Prefecture, and that is larger than the city of Portland's population. Then, how about this Oregon Buddhist temple? Do you know when this temple was founded? Right, 1903, November 29, 1903, with Reverend Wakabayashi. And next year will be 115th year. And I am the 23rd minister of Oregon Buddhist Temple. The United States of America declared independence in 1776. So this is 241st year since the declaration. This Oregon Buddhist Temple shares about half of history of the United States. The year 1903, that was the year when the first World Series of Major League Baseball was held, and Boston Americans, who later became Boston Red Sox, won the first World Series. This was also the year Wright brothers succeeded the flight of the first airplane. This Oregon Buddhist Temple is here in Portland since then. So I really think how amazing and grateful that this temple has been here in Portland for a long time. We often take temple for granted, but when we think about efforts and contributions to keep this temple here in Portland, I really think we have to thank people who supported this temple. And this feeling of appreciation is the core of today's service, Eitaikyo, Perpetual chanting or Perpetual memorial service. And in the words of Shinran Shogin I shared at the beginning, there were words blossoming of the Udumbara. And I shared about this flower before. The Udumbara is the name of the flower which blooms only once in 3,000 years. Shakyamuni Buddha said in the Raja Sutra, to encounter the blossom of Udumbara flower is, encountering the teaching which bestow the true and real benefit is like encountering the blossom of Udumbara flower. So it is rare and difficult to encounter. But we are encountering the teaching which is rare and difficult to encounter here in Portland. It is really amazing thing. This is mainly because of efforts of many people, people's efforts to keep this temple here in Portland. And I was able to be here as minister because of the supports of many people in the past. And many people here who supports this temple to be here until today. So as I mentioned, this Eitaikyo service is often translated as a perpetual memorial service, so that some of the newer families or newer people may think that since this is memorial service, it is not related to me. But no, that's not true. We were able to be here to listen to the Dharma because of the people who supported this temple. As I said, we cannot take temple for granted. To maintain one temple, we need a lot of efforts and contributions. So although I am new to this temple, this is my 5th month since I moved to Portland, I really appreciate people who supported and supports this temple. But this Eitaikyo service is not only about paying respect and thanking people in the past, but also this is a service to listen to the wishes of the people who supported this temple before us. and we should listen to their wishes and rethink if we are living in accordance with their wishes or not. They built this Oregon Buddhist temple. Why is it? That is to provide the place to listen to the Dharma and also provide the place to make lifetime friend. As Shakyamuni Buddha told us that, make the Dharma as light and rely on the Dharma. The people in the past wished us, people of next generation, to listen to the Dharma and make the Dharma as light. Make the Dharma as compass of our life. So this building is not just a building, but a manifestation of the wishes of the people in the past. Items on the altars, this podium, pews, doors, lights, and so on, everything. These are here because the people in the past wished us to listen to the Dharma. Then what is the Dharma? What is the Dharma? Dharma is teaching. And for us Shin Buddhists, that is specifically the teaching of the primal vow of Amida Tathagata. And simply saying, it takes a long time if I have to explain what the primal vow and what is Amida Buddha. But simply saying, we rely on the working of infinite wisdom and compassion to realize our self-centeredness and gradually nurtures the mind of understanding the other's pain and wish for their happiness. Then, are we living in accordance with the wishes of the people before us? We often talk about gratitude. Some people say Jodo Shinshu is the teaching of gratitude. But instead of appreciating, and we often complaining. I want to complain now, it's getting too hot. Right? But because of the working of the heater, we can stay warm inside of the building. But if we take heater for granted, we start complaining. Oh, it's getting hot. We have to turn it off, right? So through listening to the Dharma teaching and through listening to the wishes of the people before us, we should rethink and reconsider our way of living. This is the purpose of Eitaikyo service. So thank you all for coming today. And in closing, I'd like to share the Wasan poem I shared at the beginning again. So please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. The fundamental intent for which the Buddha appeared in the world was to reveal the truth and reality of the primal vow. He taught that to encounter or behold a Buddha is as rare as the blossoming of the Udumbara. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Nam Amida Butsu, Nam.